friends, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am TheTranspondster, and today we are doing a little bit of a Valentine's Day themed build. Gotta be on point for all the holidays, right? But really, it's just another romantic date spot for you to take your Sims. I'm building a cafe and quote-unquote flower shop, which I have technically done before. However, that one was more focused on actually selling flowers. If you had like the business and hobbies pack, you could kind of run both, but this one is going to be more of a functional skill building area. So they are connected on the inside, and you'll see how we end up doing that setup by the end of the video. But there's a lot of garden pots and stuff like that, so your Sims can actually come and grow things here and work on skill building if they don't have the space to on their home lot. At the end of the day, this is just supposed to be a cute little romantic date spot, and it does have that little bit of a European feel to it. However, it's not like the flower shop I built in Windenburg way back when. This one is in Nordhaven, so it's still got that European charm to it, but I feel like it's a little bit more modern looking to fit the area. It was kind of hard to find a nice balance between that quaint, cute, cottagey feel and the rest of the build around it. I also struggled a little bit with this front section because I really wanted to go all out and make this little cute outdoor seating area with this pergola on the front, but I ended up just using a roof piece extended out and some beams to hold it up. We go with some fairy lights instead for that cute charm. But yeah, I did play around with a couple different options. I do also change the wallpaper that's on the build as well, so it fits in a little better with the surrounding area and adds a little bit more color. Because it is a Valentine's Day inspired build, there's going to be lots of pinks in here, but I feel like it's still pretty well-rounded to be an all-year kind of lot to have in your game. It's definitely one that I'll use to bring my Sims to. I tried to add a little bit of dimension with those roof pieces, the decorations on the top, and then I think it also breaks up. Like, this is the flower shop and then the cafe is on the other side. They are connected in the middle on the inside, but technically you could come and just use one and not the other. The reason I'm putting this roof piece there is so that I could get this nice sunroof, because if it's plants inside, you really want that natural sunlight to enhance plant growth. And it works kind of greenhouse style, so you can grow anything all year round. I also rounded the roof out a little bit because I noticed that a lot of the background buildings had that kind of domed look to it, and I really wanted this build to look like it belonged here and not just randomly placed throughout. I do think I nailed that on the head a little bit too, and on the inside I'm really excited to show you the cafe seating area. Most of the actual dining tables are outside. Inside's more focused on comfy seating and cushions and just that cute little quaint charm. This is definitely somewhere you could go and have those day-long dates where they're closing down and now you're being asked to leave, but it fits the vibe. Outside, I definitely wanted to add a lot of landscaping, but I was a little limited based on location because it is in the city center area, so I didn't want it to be all greenery, and the landscaping had to look pretty intentional, so that's why we have these fenced in areas. And of course we had lots of pinks and whites coming through. I used the little Windenburg flowers, or sorry, like the get-together flowers on the windows, because obviously we're going all out here. Any flowers anywhere I can. I also add a wedding arch into this build a little later on, so not that that's the main theme, especially where it's placed. It looks more like it's supposed to be a walkway entrance, but your Sims can technically come and get married here. There's going to be a dumpster around the back. We make sure we get a woohoo spot in, always do. This one isn't going to have a bush or anything like that. I do scramble at the end to add some bathrooms in because I realized a little too late into this build that I didn't have them, and when it came to the fairy lights I was really dead set on having them, but the spacing is always a little weird with these hanging light connectors, so I did the best that I could with what I had. It's not perfect, but it really does the job and ties it all together, adds that cute lighting in the atmosphere, so it's good for photo taking if you are a big story player and you like to share the photo stories of your Sims on Tumblr or wherever. So don't fret, I got you covered. I do think about these things when I do my builds, and I do try and make it as aesthetic as I can. Of course, we have all sorts of flower displays going around outside here. We really got to showcase that this is a flower shop too, because on the actual inside, a lot of the planters are empty to leave that space for functionality, and that was really the focus. So I feel like I did a good job tying in the fact that this is still a very floral and pretty scene. I think I also used every single chalkboard that I could in this build. You know how those small like mom and pop cafes have those chalkboards outside showing their featured drinks and menu items? I went a little overboard with them, but I don't think it looks excessive. I think it really just makes it more personable, and like they're putting a lot of effort into showing their customers what they've got going on the inside on both sides here, the flower shop and the cafe side. I originally put that floral wall art from Eco Lifestyle up, but I do end up changing it to one from Lovestruck that totally slipped past me for the majority of this build, but I did notice it while looking for other filler decorations, and I felt like that one was a little bit more suited to the look that I have going on here. Lots of pinks and whites in the decor. Getting the spacing on this little lower part where you step down using that platform, I had to play around a little bit until I got a setting that I liked, and I didn't want it to look too perfect either, so I tried to put the table off center and tilt the chairs a little bit so it looked like maybe things had gotten shuffled around a little. Again, limited space, so we did what we could. Finding the rugs too that fit was a little bit tricky as well, because I wanted to use multiple rugs throughout, and so I had to make sure that they matched each other as well. But I think I did okay with it. There's going to end up being another rug in the ordering area, and then I go a little crazy in the flower side as well. I kept the opening space, like right where you walk in, pretty open and empty with seating and stuff, so that when Sims are gathering here it stays functional, and the NPC Sims that are also visiting and ordering their coffees and croissants and all of that aren't going to get in the way of your Sims' movability. I also kind of clutter up the in-between area to show like, hey, here's the floral shop, come on over, but it is still walkable to get to both sides, and worst case, if there are Sims blocking you off, you can always go through the door on the front of the building too, so I do make sure that it doesn't get too crowded when in actual gameplay, because nothing's more frustrating than when you go on a date at a community lot and you can't even move around, and then the date's over and you get not even bronze because it was a crappy date. You couldn't do any of the tasks required because you couldn't get anywhere. Originally, I started off with just that one little bathroom in the flower side, but I have been making it a pretty big priority to make sure that toddlers and infants are able to visit lots as well and have all of their basic needs met. So I did end up adding on another bathroom in the cafe side, which will have the changing table and potty. It does look a little bit out of place originally, but I think I tie it in pretty well by the end. Basically, you just get a little bump out in the cafe area, so the menu board gets moved around a little bit. There are lots of candles and mood lighting here. I love during the daytime the design that you see on the floor from the sun coming through that sunroof. It's just so aesthetic. I'm here for it. So this is what I mean by all the planter pots. I'm leaving a lot of them empty. I do put a couple of the plants that came with the fairy pack in there so that it looks like it is in use, but I wanted to leave some empty as well so that, again, you can come and do your own thing, work on your skill building. Maybe you're here on a date and it's a little blah, so you decide to do something else instead and make it a functional visit. Right out front there is that wedding arch that I talked about. I feel like, yes, it could be a little awkward that you're getting married at the front of a business, but I think for photos, the couple would have this nice floral background with that fountain from Romantic Garden stuff there, and it does tie in nicely. I felt it pretty fitting to use those leaf curtains on the flower side. I also do this little stone pathway to add a little bit more character and charm to the walk-up. It just felt kind of empty, and I didn't want to just keep adding random plants that looked out of place at this point. I clutter up the espresso area too. Sometimes cafes have these cute little menus sitting there, or like a tip jar, so I wanted it to look realistic. That's been the goal through building this save file that is seemingly an endless process because Sims just keeps pumping out these packs and worlds, and I don't know if I can keep up, but you know, I'm always looking for more places to build and styles, so hopefully we get some more shake up in that and we don't have all these matchy worlds. Well, they've been doing a pretty good job about that lately, the last couple years, honestly, so just keep rolling with it. Here's that bathroom too that I was talking about. It is a little bit awkwardly placed and smushed in there because of course I did it at the very end, but I do think it looks like it's supposed to be there, and it made sense to me too that there was a bathroom on either side because I imagine that they put the archways in the middle down the road. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out, so I hope you do too, and I hope you're excited to play with it in your game. Use it for Valentine's Day, perfect timing, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye guys!